In today's video, we take a look around one of the best preserved garden villages in the United Kingdom. Once a sanctuary for the working classes, it is now classed as one of the most expensive places to live in the West Midlands. Hello, welcome to Through Lucy's Lens weekly videos where I go somewhere interesting and hopefully you will find it interesting too. It's super early in the morning. This is a video that came to me in my sleep last night. So I'm actually working today at this place and I thought, do you know what? I'm going to do a video about it. And I'm at the Moorpool Estate in Harborne, very close to Birmingham City Centre. This is another garden village, and this is one that you would probably only know about if you were told about it. So I'm telling you about it now, or if you lived here. And it's another beautifully preserved example of the garden village movement, similar to Bourneville, Port Sunlight. It's another example of people who got together and thought we can build a better world. And this one is known as the best preserved, the most hidden, and it is really beautiful. I've had the privilege of working in the community centre here many times, and I've always thought it's really lovely. There's got to be more to why this is so lovely, and there is. So let's go and explore the Moorpool village. The Moorpool Estate was established in 1907 by John Nettlefold. He was the first chairman of the Birmingham Housing Committee. The Moorpool Estate is just several miles from Birmingham City Centre in a green area known as Harborne. The estate formed part of the Garden City concept shared by the Cadbury family just up the road in Bourneville, to provide good quality, low density housing with a community hall, green spaces and an emphasis on providing good housing for the working classes. This was at a time when the majority of inner city housing was of a crowded, back-to-back design where people were living in overcrowded and often unsanitary conditions with disease and poor health rife within those communities. 500 homes were built on the estate between 1908 and 1911 in the arts and crafts style. And although there were 6 types of homes built, including even a one-level dwelling in the form of a flat, they all had similar uniform appearance. John Nettlefold was seen as a housing reformer, and in 1908 he wrote in Practical Housing, "It's fortunately becoming more and more recognised every day that open spaces are necessary to the health of a town as streets are to its traffic. The provision of allotments as a counter-attraction to the public house could also be arranged if only these things were thought of beforehand. Under our present system, these boons to the self-respecting working man and his wife and children are never thought of until it's too late to provide them at a price within the means of the ratepayers or the ratepayers of our large towns." Once the tenants moved onto the estate, there was a dramatic decrease in the mortality rates in Moorpool compared to the surrounding more traditional working class housing areas of Birmingham. The houses all came with their own piece of small garden and a fruit tree. Many of these fruit trees still remain today. To keep the estate in good order, the tenants had to follow a strict series of rules, some of which are still in place today, such as the uniform paint colouring and strict planning rules in regards to refurbishment and extensions. The estate was built around a circle of community activity in the form of a community centre, tennis club and Skittles alley, but we'll see more of that later. When the original tenants went to live on the estate in 1907, the Harborne Tenants Association was formed. This meant that individual tenants could buy a minimum of 2 shares each in the estate, and one day this could lead to them actually owning a full share in their home. In 1929, the Tenants Association was turned into a limited company. Then by 1994, a company called the Bradford Property Trust acquired the Moorpool estate. Some owners and tenants by this point had got a lot of shares, and many had lived on the estate their whole lives, but they were happy to sell their properties, so more and more of these beautiful houses fell into private ownership. This was followed by a similar company, and more of the community housing was sold off. The community on the estate, many of whom had lived there for a long time, were concerned about the assets being sold off and being no longer what they were meant to be, being part of the community, and less affordable housing was available in the area. So for that reason, after a lot of campaigning and fundraising, the community pulled together to form the Moorpool Heritage Trust. This protects and continues to protect the remaining community assets from development. That aside, some of the houses on this estate, originally built to be accessible to the low-paid working classes, now sell for nearly £1 million. So, off the main drag, how can you call that a main drag? It's so beautiful. It all circles the actual Moorpool, and hopefully just down here we're going to find it. I mean, just wow. We are so close to Birmingham city centre here. That Birmingham that you see ripped to shreds on YouTube all the time. And this beautiful garden estate is right here. So quiet. And there's also a lawn bowling club. I won't get too close because there's actually two gents playing bowls at the moment. In between the houses, you come across these little alleyways, and these lead to allotments because it was important that everybody that lived here, although the gardens were quite small, had the opportunity to grow their own fruit and vegetables. I'm not sure if the allotments are still here at the back of these houses, but I found an alley, so let's go and have a look. Oh blimey, it's even better at the back of these ones. Got an orchard. Wow. This is why I love doing this. This is public space, by the way. I'm not just invading. But at the back of these houses, I think the thing that strikes me the most is how close we are here to Birmingham city centre. I could jump in my car now, and on a Sunday afternoon, less than 10 minutes, I could be in the city centre. Right, I'm going to get out of here because I don't want this to turn into one of those YouTube videos where I got lost and it was really dramatic and absolutely nothing happened, but I put that as a title. I think the problem is with doing these videos is I just keep finding more places to write on a list where I'd like to live, but probably where I've got no chance. House prices in this area are high. They've always been high, but at the moment they're really high. Not sure what the situation is regarding any of these social housing or housing association. I'm going to check when I get home. But oh, there's a tenants. Okay. What is on that plaque I've already told you at the beginning of this video, so I'm not going to repeat myself. But yeah, prices here have always been high. And I've noticed there's quite a lot to let. So if you wanted to have a little mooch, just go on Rightmove and search the Moorpool Estate and have a look, but you'll be eye-watering prices. At the centre of the estate still stands the Moorpool Hall. It was officially opened in November 1910, and I'm so privileged that I occasionally get to work here with my own little business. I always feel like singing the Kinks. We are the Village Green Preservation Society. It's like going back in time, and there's still the original sprung dance floor. There's still loads of community groups here, and there's a hidden Skittles hall which has been here since 1910. And a little fun fact for you, sometimes we hear the saying here, pin money, you earn your pin money, and this was when children used to work in a Skittles alley lifting up the pins, and they would be paid a small amount for helping with the Skittles and therefore pin money. That's cute. Come out the back. So that's the upper hall. Then we have a tennis club and the lower hall, and the lower hall hides a secret Skittles alley. Unfortunately, it's all locked up today, so we're not going to be able to see inside, but there's the original Skittles alley through there, through that window. Again, that window is so, if you're from the UK, this building is so strangely familiar but different. That's the best way I can put it. And then we've got the lower hall down here, which is used by the tennis club. The Moorpool Estate still stands as one of the more secret garden villages in the UK. The people here are very proud to live here, and I absolutely don't blame them at all. It truly stands as a testimony to those who believed that we could live in a better world. Guess what? It's raining. Of course it is. So I'm going to end this video here. I hope you've enjoyed this short little tour of yet another little hidden gem in the South Birmingham area that was built on the need to provide a lovely place for normal people to live. Until next time, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.